Just to think, right here on beautiful Staten Island, we have so much history. It's just amazing out here by the conference house. You'll love it.
So tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing.
Well, we will be doing the reenactment of the peace conference between Lord Howe, Franklin, Rutledge, and Adams. And it was a conference that the Howe brothers had their heart into because they really wanted to end this war.
Lisa, I'm so excited right now because they're now going to do a reenactment.
This is always a great time at the Conference House Park where you feel like you're back in colonial times.
We love it.
God
And now,
bless America.
That's right, God bless America. And now watch a reenactment.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're about to start with the professional reenactment. It is wonderfully put together. September 11th, 1776. Thank you.
The year is 1776, a pivotal year in America's struggle for independence. Americans in all 13 colonies are in rebellion against British rule. The Continental Army, under the command of George Washington, is engaging British forces in Massachusetts, New York, and New Jersey. Colonists everywhere are acting in defiance of British authority. Harsh British reprisals only serve to stiffen opposition. On July 4th, Americans took the decisive step. Representatives from all the American colonies signed the Declaration of Independence. The British response was to send a large military expedition to quell the rebellion. Admiral Richard Howe was in charge of the British naval forces, and his brother William had command of the army. Admiral Howe believed that a negotiated peace was possible, and he was granted permission by King George III to attempt a settlement. He wrote a letter to a number of distinguished Americans offering to seek a peace agreement. He hoped especially for a response from Benjamin Franklin, with whom he was friendly during Franklin's days as a colonial agent in London. Franklin introduced Howe's letter at a session of the Continental Congress, which then met in Philadelphia. The Congress authorized Franklin, John Adams of Massachusetts, and Edward Rutledge of South Carolina to meet Admiral Howe to determine if he had anything of substance to offer. The meeting took place in this building, which was then known as the Villa House after its original owner, Captain Christopher Villa. Let us imagine that this is the very day they met. Friday, September 11th, 1776. It is a meeting of enemies under a flag of truce. This flag is essential. If captured, the three Americans would be tried and hanged as traitors. On this occasion, however, Admiral Howe guaranteed their safety. The American delegation needed 2 days to travel from Philadelphia to Perth Amboy, New Jersey. They traveled by coach over rough roads, stopping now and then to take a meal and stretch aching limbs. They stopped overnight in New Brunswick. Rooms being scarce, Franklin and Adams had to share a small room with a single bed. Perth Amboy is just across the river and is held by rebels. Staten Island is a British fortress. 32,000 British redcoats and Hessian mercenaries are stationed here. The sounds of musket and cannon shots fired from one side of the river to the other is a daily routine. As proof of his good intentions, Admiral Howe sent one of his officers as a hostage to be held by American forces until the delegation returned to New Jersey. The Americans, believing Howe would be true to his word, had the hostage sit in the boat and cross the Narrows with them. Let's follow Lord Admiral Howe as he goes to greet the American delegation.
Gentlemen, you bring my hostage with you. You pay me a high compliment, and you may depend upon it. I will consider it the most sacred of things.
I have treated well on this fine job.
I trust that your journey was reasonably comfortable?
It was as comfortable as it might be, your lordship. Considering that last night I shared a bed with Dr. Franklin, a man whose bulk is superior to my own. I did manage to get a night's sleep, but I'm the victim of one of his faulty theories.
I know Franklin well. We played chess together in London. He's a man of active mind and numerous theories, but which of his theories are you alluding to?
His theory of catching and avoiding colds. He insisted upon opening the window to our room on a rather chilly night. Fresh air, he said, keeps off colds. His theory is wrong. I started the evening with a slight cold, and by morning, it was a bad cold.
Adams, I say my theory is correct. I did not catch your cold.
Always a retort. I see that my old friend is as quick-witted as ever. But I've not had the pleasure of meeting the third member of your party.
I am Edward Rutledge of South Carolina.
South Carolina has not been kind to His Majesty's royal governors.
Nor have the governors been kind to South Carolina.
Yes. But with a little goodwill, those grievances can soon be forgotten. But come, gentlemen, before we talk, we have prepared a repast for you.
At this point, Admiral Howe invited his guests to enter the conference house, where a table laden with food awaited them. The menu included good claret, ham, tongue, and mutton. After the luncheon, they sat about a table and began their discussion.
I hope you've enjoyed our modest menu, gentlemen. This being a military camp, we are unfortunately not able to match our London tables. Oh, Captain, guard the door.
Sir! We are colonials, accustomed to plain food. Your lordship has fed us beyond our expectations.
I am pleased to hear. Now, may I ascertain in what official capacities are you here?
We are representatives appointed by the Congress in order to hear your proposals.
No, you must not mention Congress. I cannot deal with the Congress. His Majesty does not recognize your Congress. The very mention of it puts him into a fit. But when everything is settled and the colonies are once again restored to their proper places in the British Empire, there'll be no need for a Congress.
You may consider us in any manner you proper. We are at liberty to consider ourselves in our true character. It may be a conversation as among friends.
I'm willing to consider myself in any character that would be agreeable to your lordship, except that of a British subject.
Mr. Adams is a decided character.
I think with Dr. Franklin, this conversation may be among friends.
A conversation among friends it shall be. In spite of our disagreements, we British are kindly disposed towards Americans. When an American falls, England feels it. I should feel the same even more strongly. If America fell, I should feel and lament it like a brother.
We will do our utmost to spare your lordship that mortification.
Oh, come, Dr. Franklin. The issues that divide us are trivial. Surely we can reach an accommodation. Reunite our countries and peoples on a term satisfactory to both.
Reunite! Surely your lordship is aware that we have declared independence.
A rash decision, made in the heat of passion. When calm is restored, I'm sure you'll reconsider it. Besides, to put it plainly, I cannot discuss independence. That word is totally unacceptable to His Majesty.
The Declaration of Independence was signed over 2 months ago on July 4th. It was America's response to its last petition to the King. The King's response to that petition was to send in troops and burn our towns.
The Declaration of Independence is not merely an act of rebellion. It sets forth an ideal that is now universally desired in our colonies. It is not in our power your lordship, to treat our colonies as anything other than independent states.
I am one of the oldest members of Congress, my lord, having been here from the beginning. I'm glad this conversation is taking place. It will be the occasion of opening to Great Britain the advantages that would derive from an alliance with a free America. Trade with America would enrich English commerce, provide employment for its people, revenue for its government. The United States can protect the West Indian Islands more effectively than England can, to say nothing of the Newfoundland fisheries.
Highly desirable. But all that can be achieved under the benevolent protection of the British Empire. There is more to it than commerce. The British Empire must protect its subjects and, yes, its interests in many parts of the world. America can confer upon Great Britain more solid advantages. It is her commerce, her strength, her men that we chiefly want.
And we are a considerable manufactory of men, Your Honor, but they are increasingly unwilling to fight your wars.
If we can reach an agreement that resolves their grievances, they will willingly fight Britain's wars. There have been abuses regarding taxation and other issues. These can be remedied. Detached from the British Empire, your colonies will soon be at war with one another. As members of the Empire, a wise and benevolent government will maintain harmony.
Fine sentiments, my lord, and I know you utter them sincerely. But the American people will no longer consent to come again under the British government. I can speak for South Carolina. The royal government was very oppressive. At last we took that government into our own hands, and people are settled and happy under that government. Under no circumstances will they return to the king's government.
Very uncompromising statement, sir. But consider the alternative, which is to restore His Majesty's government by force of arms. A war will last for years and devastate your societies. It is that which I hope to avoid. But this cannot be achieved unless all parties are prepared to compromise.
May we hear what compromises your lordship is authorized to offer?
His Majesty is most generous. He is prepared to issue a blanket pardon to all rebels.
All. Friends of mine who are close to your government have informed me that there is a secret protocol to this effect. That John Adams' pardon shall take the form of a rope around his neck.
You have managed to annoy quite a few people in London, Mr. Adams. I don't deny it, but I know of no secret protocol.
Has brought about such harsh measures.
Gentlemen, we are civilized men. We are here to find a way to end the ruinous extremities which follow upon rebellion.
Your lordship, you know that I have long favored reconciliation with Great Britain. May I offer another compromise? Perhaps you can send ahead for the authority to negotiate with us as an independent nation.
That is a vain hope. I appreciate your candor, gentlemen, but it is clear to me now that no accommodation is possible. The war will go on. You will suffer greatly, and in the end you cannot prevail. Just recently, General Washington's army was soundly thrashed on Long Island. We could see how ragged, half-starved, poorly equipped, and undisciplined his men were. Our agents report that his men leave when their recruitments expire. Quite a few others desert.
We lost a battle, your lordship, but not a war. Our territory is vast. Our people seized with the idea of liberty. 1 million British troops and Hessians cannot conquer them.
There is, I suppose, no more to be said. I wish you a safe journey back to your homes, and hope that we shall meet again in happier circumstances.
Adieu, my lord. We thank you for your equanimity and your hospitality.
To many historians, the conference on Staten Island was a minor incident. Nothing significant happened. No deal was reached. But something significant did happen. No deal was reached. 3 Americans resisted the temptation to compromise the ideals of liberty. As they boarded the barge that would take them back to New Jersey, they knew that the coming years would test America's mettle. But there was something else, something more profound. Their conversation with Admiral Howe made them aware that a sea change was occurring in the affairs of men. The world would never be the same.